Okay. Good afternoon, students. We have completed Unit 1, wherein we have seen the basics of big data, why and how the big data is the emerging technology, and why it is important to study this particular technology. Okay. Now, moving further, uh, we have this unit 2 wherein we are going to concentrate only on the concept of map reduce. As in the unit 1 we have seen the introductory part of map reduce, why map reduce is important, and how it is uh, done. So here we are trying to understand what is the architecture of this map reduce and how it is helpful in processing the big data wherein our traditional database management systems fails. Okay, so this is your syllabus of unit 2, uh, the Hadoop MapReduce, its fundamentals, then how we can write it programmatically, how we are able to write the MapReduce with the help of some programming language. We will be taking Java programming language. Then how, what are the ways to write it in R programming language, as we have seen the introductory part of R programming language in unit 1. We know that there are certain things which should be written in R language, because R is a very powerful language for statistical analysis of the data. Okay, then how we can integrate this concept of Hadoop and R, and that is RHIPE architecture and R Hadoop. Okay, so these are the points we are going to study in this second unit. Okay, so now what do you mean by this map reduce, and why it is important? So what are the basics? So it is the programming model. Okay, as there are certain models we have. We know that there is a MVC model, that is model view controller, and there are n number of other programming models. In the same way, where whenever we need to work on a distributed database which is geographically distributed, this particular map reduce is going to be a useful programming model. Now, why we require to use a map reduce? Because uh, we know that uh, if you want to process the huge amount of data that is in terabytes or petabytes, then it is very uh, tedious job, and very high configuration machines would be required. And this proves to be a bottleneck, because every time, each and every time, you will be having a high configuration machine, that is not possible. Because to process, to work on this high configuration data, or heterogeneous type of data, you really need to work on very with very good machine. Okay, so the way around of this is, the way around to this is that we can distribute the data, and then we can work on it parallelly. Okay, so these distributed computations can be implemented with the help of this map reduce programming model. So what is the task? The task is that we need to work on a huge data, and to work on this huge data we cannot rely, or we cannot get the high configuration machine at every time, and it is not feasible also. So what is the way around? The way around is that we will split the data, and then we will distribute that particular data into number of machines. Now, what is the advantage of doing this? The obvious advantage is that the low configuration machine can also be part of this distributed environment. This is one of the advantage, and another advantage is that now all these distributed machines will be able to work in a parallel manner, will be doing the job, will doing the task in a simultaneous manner, parallel manner, so that we will get the result within the required set of time. Okay, so that is the advantage, that distributed computing can be implemented with the help of this map reduce programming model. Okay, so logically, to process the data we need parallel processing, which means processing over large computation. That means we are going to do the processing in a parallel manner. That means if in suppose in the network there are say 10 number of machines, okay, then that 10 number of machines will be working in a simultaneous manner. Okay, so simultaneously these can work in a parallel way. Okay, so it can be either obtained by clustering the computers or increasing the configuration of the machine. So as we have just seen that configuration, increasing the configuration of machine is not the solution. Why? Because this will or this may or may not be able to cater the need. Okay, so that is why the what is the best solution that we have? We will be clustering the computers. That means low configuration machines will be brought together in a cluster, and then we will be processing large amount of data in a parallel way. Okay, so using the computer cluster is an ideal way to process the data with large size, and this map reduce can be implemented to run on the large cluster with the commodity hardware. That means low configuration hardware will also work in our particular map reduce system because it is geographically distributed amongst the system. Okay, so the system takes care of the input data, then it distributes the data across the network. So n number of machines will be taking part in that, and these n number of machines will be doing or processing it in a parallel manner, and then at last we will be combining its output into a single file to get the result, to get the expected output. Okay, so that is the beauty of this map reduce model, that the system itself take care of input data, it also distributes the data amongst the participating machines, and then it makes them work in a parallel manner, so that we will be getting the result in a stipulated given time. Okay, so this is very helpful in terms of cost, and it is also in terms of time saving. Okay, so why cost? Because we are working on a low configuration machine, the machines which are normally available, that can be doing the processing, and at the same time as we are processing it in the parallel manner, it is also a cost effective and time saving. Okay, so as we are working in a parallel way, it is a cost effective solution, and also the less amount of time is also consumed. Okay, so it will efficiently use the computer resource to perform the analytics over a huge amount of data, and Google is the patent owner of this particular technology, MapReduce. Okay, so Google has been granted a patent on this MapReduce. So what are the phases? So as we are talking about MapReduce, as the name itself suggests, it is subdivided into two phases, map and reduce. Okay, so to design the map function for processing a key value pair to generate a set of intermediate key value pairs. That means now mapping means now we are literally doing the generating the key value pair. That means this particular suppose this is a key, then this is its value. Okay, so this key value pair is getting generated, and with the help of this key value pair we are going to do the analysis based on this key value pair. Okay, so it reduce the reduce function to merge all the intermediate keys. So once you have generated, suppose you have n number of say these key value pairs, and these key value pairs are having these just a minute. So this is a key and this is a value. Suppose these are the key value pairs that are generated. Now suppose you are processing a large amount of large list which is containing the name of the fruits. Suppose, for example, so this is a apple, this is a banana, and likewise you have n number of fruits, and the list of these fruits are there for n number of times. So there is one list, then there is another list, and likewise this is getting repeated n number of times. So now if I want to count how many times a particular fruit is appearing, say banana, for list 1, list 2, list 3, how many times this banana is appearing over here. So what I will do, I will be making the key as banana and then its value. Suppose it is appearing over here for one time, then one will be key. If it is appearing for two times, then the two will be its value. So banana is a key and 2 is its value. So likewise I will be generating the key value pair. So there is a name of fruit, suppose apple, and how many number of times it is appearing. So if, for example, 4 times it is appearing. So likewise I will be generating the key and value pair. Okay, key value pair will be generated, and once I have generated all the key value pairs, then I can reduce it to, because these are number of nodes. This is suppose node 1 which is processing, this is node 2. So likewise there will be n number of nodes which are working in a parallel way. So what I will be doing in the reduction phase, I will be combining all the nodes result for apple, and then I will be appearing for a result, say apple is appearing 10 times. Okay, so that is the reduce function. So reducing will merge all the intermediate key values. Okay, so all the keys will be merged and their count will be added together to form a what you can say, the particular uh, reduction. Okay, so the reduce function will start executing the code after completion of the mapping phase, as output of the map phase will be used as an input to the reduce phase. Okay, so this is the algorithm, this is the particular algorithm that is happening. That is, first you are going for input, then mapping, then you are partitioning the data, then shuffling, sorting, and then you are reducing, and that is how you came to the output. Okay, so the key aspect of map reduce algorithm is that every map and reduce is independent of all other maps and reduces in the network. So that is the beauty of this, that all these systems are working in parallel, because every node will have its own map and reduce, its own maps and reduces will be there, and then at last you are going to combine them to produce or to generate the output. Okay, so the operation, just a minute. Yes sir. Yes, yes sir. Yes sir. Yes sir. Okay, so the operation will run in parallel on different keys of the data, uh, and then a distributed file system spreads the multiple copies of the data across the different machines, and this offers the reliability as there is a fault tolerance. Okay, so if at all, if one copy of the file crashes, then the other will be working. Okay, so the same data will be provided from the other replicated data source. Okay, so the master node of the MapReduce daemon will take care of all the MapReduce jobs, such as execution of the job, the scheduling, uh, okay, the scheduling of the mapper, reducers, combination or combinators, participators, and the monitoring of these successes as well as failures of the individual task, and finally completion of the batch job. So for all these things there is a master node, and the master node will take care of all these tasks, that is execution of jobs, scheduling of mappers, monitoring of these successors, and then completion of the batch job. Okay, so the next point that is important is a Hadoop MapReduce. Okay, so it can be implemented using several languages, object-oriented languages, and we are going to see the implementation of Hadoop MapReduce using the Java framework. Okay, so it is a paradigm divided into two parts. We have already seen the map and the reduce. Okay, so the map and reduce task runs sequentially in a particular cluster. The output of map phase becomes the input for the reduce phase, and the map reduce programs transforms the input data set present in the list format into the output data that will be able to be in the list format itself. Okay, so the logical list translation process is mostly repeated twice in the map and reduce phase, and it handles the repetition by fixing the number of mappers and the number of reducers. So it is up to you how many number of mappers and reducers you want over here, but you can programmatically decide how many mappers and reducers you want in your system. Okay, so these are the particular entities. So these are the components: client, then job tracker, task tracker, and HDFS. So in unit 1 we have already seen what is the difference of job tracker and task tracker. Can anyone tell what is the exact difference between job tracker and task tracker? Yes, anyone? Okay. See, we have seen this concept in Unit 1 itself, as a job tracker will be your master. So this is going to be working as master, and this is going to work as a slave. Okay. So master will allocate the task to the slave. Okay, so job tracker is going to assign and keep track of all the tasks which are given to the task tracker. So task tracker will be responsible for the execution of the task. Okay, so this will be executing the job, and then this is going to monitor the job assigned to the task tracker. So job tracker is nothing but your master node, and the task tracker is nothing but your slave node. And then lastly there is a HDFS. So this stores the input and output data. Okay, so Hadoop data file system would be there, HDFS, which stores this data. Okay, so what are the scenario regarding this? So the scenario or the processing is done by loading the data into HDFS, then execution of the map phase. That means we are going to split that data, and then we are assigning the particular cluster to that, and then that cluster will be doing the mapping phase. Then we are shuffling and sorting, because we know that suppose for example we have taken the example of counting the number of appearances of the name of the fruit. Then it might happen that cluster 1 has apple appearing for 10 times, cluster 2 has 5 times, cluster 3 has 1 time, so that all these data is going to get shuffled and sorted. Okay, and then after doing this we are implementing the execution phase. Okay, so I think we will stop over here, and we will continue with the next point, that is how we are going to load the data in the HDFS from the next lecture. Okay, so is there any doubt or anything anyone wants to ask?